Hello and welcome back to another episode on the channel by me, TheWiseJames. Got some more trolls to deal with. Got a community ban for nothing. Let's get into it. So, as I always do, I use my freedom of speech to, correct people who are wrong. So, this morning on GB News, I said how Farage is the one who caused the current mass migration problem by starting Brexit, and he is. He also was the leader of the Independence Party backing Brexit. But anyway, he then helped the Tories implement the current laws that are causing mass migration, which he did, even backing that deal. He is the reason we have mass migration, which it is. Now, the funny thing is, right, this is GB News, so all the people who are here back him and think he's the man to solve the problem, even though he's actually the guy who caused it. And basically, if you disagree with him, they instantly all think you are either left-wing or, watch the BBC. They've got these coping mechanisms that the GB News has programmed into them. So if anyone disagrees with Farage, you're instantly a left-wing guy. And if you think GB News is wrong, you must watch the BBC. These people can't comprehend that there's people out there who think for themselves and don't require the news to tell them how to think. But anyway, I've got a community ban. So as normal, we'll go through the ones I can't reply to. I will reply verbally. And then I will tag them in the post so they know what the fuck I said, alright? I'm having a nice cup of tea as well, alright? Cheers. Lovely jubbly. Right. So I will go through some of them as well, because I have replied. So you can just see what I've replied and see if anyone can tell me what they think I got banned for. I reckon it's for saying the word pedos too many times. So first comment was Mickey Moe, what, and Starmer letting in over 25,000 illegal economic scrounging migrants is okay, is it? And as I put, Starmer is a spineless coward who could have solved this problem any time, but instead risks the safety of our women and children. That's true. He could have solved it any time in the last year. Then Justin Banbury. The idea of Brexit was meant to mean they could control immigration, but the Tories and Labour don't want to control immigration. They have the power to control legal migration, but they don't. I actually agreed with that statement. What did I say? I said, yes, you are mostly right, because they do have limited control over what they can do over migration and illegal migration. But they could create new ways to deal with it. And instead of trying to solve the problem, they're trying to, make it seem like they're dealing with the problem. They could have stopped this a year ago. So, yeah, I agree that Labour and the Tories have both used it to pretend that the economy is growing faster than it is. So no matter how bad things are, they can always claim the economy is growing because they ship in some illegal migrants every day. Basically, yeah. It's also cheap labour for the richest people, cheaper labour, so they get more profit. And here's a person trying to silence me. When people are trying to silence you, you're onto things, So he says, shut up, you idiot. It's the party that's in charge now that's causing, I wouldn't say they're causing it. They're not solving it, but they didn't cause it. Should I say yes, they are letting the invasion happen. I can agree with that. Just like it was the Tories who let it happen on their watch too. Yeah, agree with that. I don't think we should be using the Royal Navy, though. The Navy's job is to deal with the military and military problems. I don't think a couple of rubber dinghies is a military problem. I think the government is letting it happen, so it's not a military problem. This person said, for fuck's sake. That doesn't help anything. Farage caused it and laughing doesn't help anything. You're obviously living in a cuckoo world full of make-believe. And I says, no, I'm not just brainwashed by my TV like you and have the ability to think for myself. And I remember what happened. I do. I remember, literally, I watched Nigel Farage sitting at the EU as an MP at the EU. He was literally, I watched him do it. And he says, I'm sick of the way you all treat Britain, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to drag Britain out the EU personally. And they all laughed at him. And he goes, you'll all laugh. You're all laughing now. But you'll see. And he went and did Brexit. He went and got support from the Americans to get the money and the influence and the power to influence you to get Brexit done. And then Brexit got done. He helped the Tories implement that deal with the current rules on migration. Those current rules on migration are what is causing our current illegal migration problem. And he is the catalyst. He is the spark that caused it all. Not only is he the spark, he hammered the nails in to make sure it was done. He publicly backed this bad deal. He helped the Tories implement the bad deal. And so you can't sit here and say he's not responsible. It's a load of bullshit. It's an absolute load of bullshit. He is responsible. And then the Tories' coping mechanism every time that because they've switched allegiances to Farage now, is to blame Blair. Now, you can blame Tony Blair for the previous migration problems. Sure. You can blame him for the previous migration problems. But that was a different problem with different rules, different laws, and different regulations. We also had 10% of the illegal migration we do now, right? So you can't blame Tony Blair for the current laws, rules, and regulations because they are only in place because of Farage. If it wasn't for Farage, we'd still be running on the old Blair rules. So you can't blame him because his rules were overwritten. They're overruled. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can blame him for the old problem. Sure, fine. Blame him all you want. But for the current problem, no, you can't blame him. It's Farage. Farage and the Tories is who you blame. They could not have done it without Farage. And Farage could not have done it without the Tories. And ironically, what's the first political party Nigel Farage was a member of? The Tory party. What party is he trying to replace in government? The Tory party. It's just an update of the Tory party. That's all reform is. It's just Tory 2.0. That's literally all it is. I know, I'm funny, Sally, thanks. Another person thinks it's Blair. Like, imagine thinking it's Blair that caused fucking Brexit and the mass migration problem we currently have. Should I blame Neil Armstrong because he was on the moon for that submarine sinking in the Atlantic? Like, should I blame Donald Trump that I spilt a cup of tea yesterday? Or is it my fault? Oh, but Donald Trump made me angry, so it's his fault. No, of course, it's my fault. So, the current mass migration problem, Farage's fault, right? And this person, what a clown. You always know when people have to insult you and they can't prove you wrong, right? If they can't prove you wrong and they have to insult you, you've won. You've won. I'm not going to lower myself to that. Are you bored? Nothing else to do? Actually, trying to stop pedos coming to my country is a pretty good use of my time. So where are we at? Where's these clowns I can't reply to? Oh, here we are. So, oh yeah, what people do, right, is because they can't beat me themselves, they'll go jump across to other people's comments and try and help each other, try and beat me, and then I'll just beat the pair of them, like, you can't win, man, you can't win. You could win if I was wrong, but I'm not wrong. Not here anyway. So, yeah, I went to post this because this person said it's pointless to argue with him. He believes that his made-up fantasies are more truthful than facts. It's not my fault these guys ignore facts. But whatever. Yeah, see, can't reply. I don't even think I broke the community rules. I think lots of these people have made false reports of me and the AI wrongly banned me for that reason. I think that's what people do. I think they make false reports and then you get a reaction like this because I haven't broken any rules. There's no way I've broken any rules. Oh, here we are. So what do they say? No, it was Tony Blair. Oh, for God's sake. I'm so sick of these bellends trying to blame Tony Blair for something that happened 20 years after he left power. Like, and he had nothing to do with. Literally, it's unbelievable. Okay. Is Harvey I'm guessing Harvey's a male, right? So, what does he say? I'll read the whole thing before I give the response. No, it was Tony Blair and Bush who have caused mass migration by fucking up the Middle East with no weapons of mass destruction were found, but the Blair and Bush got really wealthy and the Middle East more dangerous, so it was Labour again to blame. Ooh. Smart. Very smart. See, most people blame Blair for the reasons of the EU. So they'll blame Blair's workings with the EU as to why we have this mass migration problem. But it's really hard to disagree with him that Blair is not the reason that we have all this trouble in the Middle East, and alongside George Bush, and all these people have left the Middle East to flee to other safe countries. I agree, actually, with Harvey. I agree with him. Tony Blair is to blame for that. But we are an island in the middle of the ocean, right? You can't get here unless we let you get here, right? So I can accept his position that Tony Blair is the cause of the illegal mass migration problem all over Europe. Sure. But when you're talking about the UK, an island in the middle of the ocean, and why we specifically are having this problem, it's because of Farage, the Tories, and Brexit. If we didn't have Brexit and this deal, we would have higher illegal migration than we had before. So instead of it being 20,000 or 30,000 a year, it would probably be about 50 to 100,000 right now. It wouldn't be 500,000. The EU is also allowing this to happen because, well, they want us back in the EU. And the Tories and the Labour are letting it happen because then they can use it to lie about growth. So, do you know what it is? I've been doing this for months. Months. That's the best reply so far. That is the smartest comment on this subject anyone said to me all year. All year. And in fact, I'm going to give him a heart for that. I'm really impressed, Harvey. I came here expecting you to just blame Blair because the EU. And, nah. You're right. But there's two things here. The reason there is an illegal migration problem and the reason the UK has an illegal migration problem. So I agree with Harvey that Labour is to blame and Tony Blair and Bush are to blame for the reason there is a worldwide illegal migration problem. Well, European illegal migration problem. Blair is to blame for that, for unsettling the Middle East. And the Taliban are back in charge now anyway, so they didn't make a fucking difference, did they? Thousands of British soldiers' lives were lost. American lives were lost. For no reason whatsoever. A lie. A fucking lie. And the truth be told, he's right. It unsettled the Middle East, and that's why we have this illegal mass migration problem all over Europe. But specifically talking about the UK's mass migration problem, because we are not landlocked to Europe, there's miles and miles of ocean between Britain and the European mainland. The only reason we would get illegal migration here at that level is if we allow it. And it has been allowed because of Farage and the Tories doing a bad job. I'm not saying Farage intentionally caused it, although he could have. I'm just saying he's that bad at his job, this was one of the side effects. And he is responsible. That's as simple as what it is. I know he means well, but his actions are not the same as his intentions. Alright? On to the next one. Jan Perry. I don't disagree with any of that, but now Labour is letting it carry on and not doing anything constructive to stop the boat, so numbers have doubled since last year. Can't keep blaming the other government. It's childish and unhelpful. Labour in power and get a grip. Do something constructive. Do something constructive. Here, Jan, do something constructive. You mean like solve the mass migration problem and point out how Labour has not implemented the solution? Here, look at this, Jan, right? I'll tell you what, you got to my Facebook, right? You got on the 12th of February, okay? You got the 12th of February this year, and you will see here, I have already offered solutions to this problem. I've already solved the mass migration problem. I go on to GB News every day telling you all how this problem can be solved and that we can solve it, knowing full well you're going to ignore me, but the point is, you're all being told a solution that would stop it, and yet it's not being done. So what you'll work out what you will work out is that you'll work out it's not that they can't stop the illegal migration problem, it's that they don't want to. And yes, I blame Labour. You didn't ask if I blame Labour. What do you think? I don't blame Labour. Of course I blame Labour. I spent the last year blaming Labour. Like, so when you're saying do something constructive and stop messing around, it's quite ironic because I'm literally informing you of the solution. This is constructive. You're here having a whinge at me instead of trying to get my solution implemented by the government. Everyone here in this comment section is more bothered about defending Nigel Farage than stopping the boats. You're all more bothered about defending him than stopping paedophiles coming to our country. That's the fact. That is the fact. It's not my fault you're all dumb as fuck. I'm sorry. But I do agree with you that Labour's letting it carry on. 100%. And not doing anything constructive to stop the boats, correct. I agree we can't keep blaming each other, which is why I keep telling you all the solution, who caused it, and how to solve it, right? So shut the fuck up, Jan. I'm doing far more constructive shit than you. So I imagine I agree with you. You need to fucking do your research. You need to do your research, alright? Careful, you're arguing with the devoid of critical... yeah, clearly devoid of critical thinking, aren't they? Clearly, fucking hell. If these people knew what they were doing, do you really think they would be insulting me? The fact of the matter is, everyone in this comment section is more bothered about defending Nigel Farage than stopping paedophiles coming to the UK. Because if they cared more about stopping paedophiles, they would be trying to get my solution implemented to stop the boats. But instead, they spend all their time on Facebook whinging about me. There's your answer, innit? They care more about Farage getting in power than stopping pedos. So what else we got? That's a nice thank you, Barbara. It's very rare I get a nice compliment on my debating skills. Why, thank you, Barbara. Very kind of you. I wish I could thank you in person, but I have a block, so I will tag you in the video. Yeah, see, I can't thank you. So I'll thank you. I'm thanking you in person. Thank you very much. What else we got here? Yeah, see, here's the solution. See, look, here's me posting the solution 1 hour ago on another immigration post. Here, you see here? That's the solution I just showed you. Literally, I do this every day on GB News. And has GB News ever told you about my solution? No. Why? I don't know. Why don't you all ask GB News? I'm sure they'll tell you. Bellends. Because they care more about protecting Nigel Farage than they do about protecting your kids and your women from pedos. That's fucking why.
Now, this time last...
What else we got? Hey, it's nice to thank someone. Thank you, Barbara. Usually all I'm dealing with is trolls, not a decent human being. Fucking hell. Absolute nonsense. Tony Blair threw open the gates for mass migration. The policies of Labour and Tory have done absolutely nothing to prevent them. Fairly accurate, I guess. So-called legal or illegal. The EU, the borders, Schengen Agreement, swamped by migrants. You say it's a bizarre reason, Brian. I mean, you seem to have done a reasonably intelligent response, even though I might disagree with it. You say it's a bizarre reason, but do you not think that all these EU countries are just allowing illegal migration, so they can pretend they have economic growth? Because obviously what you do is you ship loads of illegal migrants in, who do loads of work for cheap, with basically no rights, and then they get deported or, sent back, whatever it's called. What you get is fake growth. You get fake growth. So it looks like your economy's growing, but it's not actually growing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's why they do it. Farage gave a voice to the people who were fed up of being governed by an unelected and unaudited Quango. Well, the thing is, that's why I liked Farage. I liked Farage for standing up for us at the EU, right? Because at the end of the day, it was just business and logistics. Britain was never the EU's main priority, and it never will be. Consider us to the EU is the same as the Isle of Man to Britain, right? We care about the Isle of Man. We'll do whatever's best for it, but it's not more important than the mainland, is it? And it's the same for the EU. And that was my thinking. So I was, and still am, pro-independence from the EU. I'm pro-Brexit. I am just not pro the Brexit we got. I am not happy with what was delivered, right? So people assume I'm anti-Brexit. No. I want my country to have free sovereignty to rule its own borders, to rule its own rules and laws. But we don't have that, do we? If anything, we're going to get an American puppet in Farage because he went to America to get the power and influence to get Brexit done. And so now he's their bitch. And so if and when he becomes Prime Minister, we will have an American puppet as Prime Minister. He is an American... Like, this is what America does. They get their own guy in charge. That's what they do. And this is what they're doing with Reform and Nigel. And you're all just letting it happen. You're letting us become America's bitch. Day by day. Every fucking day. I know it sounds crazy. I'll go and get my tinfoil hat on. Wait there. Right. If I'm going to cook up some crazy conspiracy theories, I've got to put the hat on. Right. There we go. Yeah. Nigel Farage is an American puppet installed by America to try and make Britain America's bitch. There we go. It's much better with the hat, that. Much better with the hat. Anyway. The EU opened the gates, blah, blah. So Cameron did call the referendum. You're right there, Brian. But he only called the referendum because of the public demand due to Farage, right? And I wanted Brexit, so I wasn't against that. I'm just against the Brexit we had delivered, right? I'm not against Brexit. I'm against the Brexit we got. You say Farage wasn't in government, but he was. We were part of the EU. So any member of the government who was our representative at the EU was a member of government. They were members of parliament at the EU for Britain. So he was a member of the government. He was a European member of parliament for Britain, paid by the taxpayer. He was literally an MP for Britain at the EU. I know you don't see it that way, and I see the world differently to you all. I get that. I have these problems. Mainly I'm a schizo, right? So I see the world differently to you all. But he was an MP at the EU, paid by the British taxpayer. He was the government's representative at the EU and our member of parliament at the EU. So how is that not a member of government? How? It's not a member of, like, our national government, but it was our international government, if that makes sense, right? I don't want to be rude to you, Brian, because you seem to have been quite pleasant here, and sometimes, right, I deal with a lot of trolls on these comments, I deal with a lot of abusive people, and I might unintentionally come across disrespectful or nasty or condescending or patronising. It's not my intention, Brian, right? It's not your fault other people are rude and abusive, right? I'm trying to be very nice here. Farage wasn't in government and could not have helped Tories implement any of... He did help them. When Theresa May announced the deal and Boris announced the deal, he kept telling all of his UKIP supporters and anyone who wanted independence from the EU to back the bad deal. He kept telling everyone to back that deal, so he did help them implement it by getting the public to support it and other MPs who agreed with him to support it, right? He had influence and power, a lot of it. A lot of it. He just got back from America with all the money and power you can imagine. At the end of the day, bad though. The cost of housing and illegals is it a smoke and mirrors used to deflect from the mass that's been permanent? permitted. The blame for mass migration lies firmly in the hands of Tory, Labour and the EU, not Farage. I'm sorry, I think it's all four. It's Tory, Labour, the EU and Farage. I'm sorry, it's all four. I disagree with you there, Brian. I agree with you, it's Tory, Labour and the EU, but I also blame Farage. I don't believe that the Tories and the EU could have done it without Farage. So, I appreciate you being an adult, giving me a decent reply there. Quite rare in GB News comment sections, really. So, fair play to you. Bit of a clap there for being a decent man. And if I was rude or disrespectful there, I am sorry. It's not intentional. I deal with so many twats here, right? So many twats. Who we got? What else we got? K what? How is Ireland, Greece, Italy, Germany doing? All EU countries have been swamped with immigrants. Poland has closed its borders. Hungary will not accept them. Nothing to do with Brexit. Yes, it is to do with Brexit. I'm sorry, you can't compare the immigration problems of two countries who share a land border to an island in the middle of the ocean. And that island has nuclear bombs and nuclear weapons, but somehow can't stop a few boats. No! Bollocks! Bollocks! You can't compare fucking the crossing of the Nazis from Germany to France to the Nazis. Well, put it that way, yeah. Put it that way. How easy was it for the Nazi party, the German army in World War II, to cross from Germany to France, but to get from France to Britain? They never fucking did it, did they? They literally couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So we literally could stop the German army in World War II crossing the ocean to Britain, right? Although they never tried it, to be fair, because they knew how bad it would be. But still, we stopped the planes and we stopped spies. You know, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same. Because to get into France from Germany, all you need to do is this. That's it, and you're in fucking France. Whereas when you're trying to get from France to Britain, you've got to cross 20 miles of ocean with military boats, military ships, satellite surveillance, earthquake monitoring, tsunami monitoring, storm monitoring, scientists doing tests, fishermen. Like, what are you talking about? It's not the same. I know it's similar. Fine. It's in the same area. Fine. But it's not the same. Yeah, I've already liked Harvey's reply there. I think that's all of them. I think that's all of them. I will have to check, though. Justin's replied here, and I can't reply, Justin, so I'll reply verbally. I'm not racist, but the numbers for illegals is too much. I agree. Puts pressure on everything with the population increase in such huge numbers. Causes multiculturalism not to work. You get areas and illegals, we don't know who they are. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, actually. I agree with that. Stranger danger. 100%. I will tag all these people in, because tell me more about these 500,000 migrants per year. Did Rachel Reeves from Accounts have a sit down with Diane Abbott? No, that was the illegal migration figure plus the migrant figure. I think it was 2018 or something. When was... Okay, so the largest figure for net migration in the UK was 906,000. So I was like lowballing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm stating half that, and like they're saying like it's crazy. I lowballed it. I literally lowballed it. What are you on about? Fucking hell. Oh, right. So Tony Dispace says he thinks I'm a retarded clown to Donald Weaver. See, what happens is you get weak men who can't beat me on their own in a debate. So, because they can't prove me wrong, they'll insult me. And when that doesn't work, they'll go and try to appeal to other members of the group for help to try and beat me. Like, weak pussy. So, Tony Dispace, you're a weak pussy. I'm going to call you a weak pussy. And you are a weak pussy. Alright? Weak pussy. Prove me wrong, or shut the fuck up. Anyone else? I think that's it. Oh no, here we go. Chris Brocklebank, you come from the north. No, I don't. I live in the north. You're a member of the Red Wall. No, I'm not. Oh my god, we know so many people from the Red Wall. Never had the chance of a decent education. I was born and raised in Surrey. Right? I got a fantastic education. I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't born in the north. Why do people just... Do you guys know what an assumption is? Do you know that when you make an assumption, and if you think you're correct, and you're not, you're then delusional. So this guy, Chris Bucklebank, is delusional. Like, do you think I was born in the north? I wasn't born in the north. Do I sound like I was born in the north, Chris? I mean, I can talk like I was from the north, you know what I mean, pet? I can tell like I'm from the north, pet man, how are you? But if I talk like I'm from Surrey, do you really think that I sound like I'm from Newcastle? Do I really sound like a Geordie? Because this is my normal voice. Chris, you daft cunt. I'm what you call a Cockney Geordie, right? I was born and raised in Cranley in Surrey for 16 years, then moved back up north with my family to our home, and I've lived here for the last 17, 18 years. So I am both a Cockney and a Geordie, but I was born in the south, raised in the south. I don't come from the north. I wasn't born in the north. So you've stated two mistakes here that I've had to correct you with. How embarrassing are you? Not very. Not as embarrassing as you, bud. Bud. Duffman, can't breathe. Absolute nonsense, Tony Blair. Oh, we've already done Brian's, he was good. Right, what other ones we got? So annoying when you can't reply to these trolls. Justin Banbury.
Now.
I'm sure I just read that one. Sharon Day.
Meanwhile,
Oh, yeah. Oh, funny shit. Good for you, Sharon. Oh, yeah, this guy kept calling me a nonce. The worst Barry I've ever met. Bless him. An inferior Barry. Blair started it when he wanted a multicoloured Britain. We had black soldiers in World War II and World War I. Shut the fuck up, Linda. They did more for this country than you ever have. Shut the fuck up, alright? Stop being a racist, bitch. Fuck's sake, man. Can't stand all you racist cunts. Like, there's literally so many black people who have done so much good in this world, and so much better things for our country than you lot ever did. Like, bunch of racists who fucking just whinge and cry about everything else everyone else does, and do nothing good themselves. Fuck off. Fuck off! You slag.